welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Focus TV. We're joined as always. We got Octavia Wyatt, Raymond Lyons, Cardo Dudley Jr. I'm Wilson Tarbe Jr. Again, welcome to the Focus TV. It's season 6, episode 18. We're not gonna waste any time. Gonna get straight into it. I'm sure many folks is right now, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this Wednesday or Friday, what have you. At this moment, while we're recording, you're probably tuning into these NBA playoff games. So that's where we're gonna start at. Let me go ahead and get this up on the screen for us all. And I just want to get y'all's thoughts. We're in the middle of the first round now. Playing is done. It's officially basketball again. Where what's that thing that matters now? It's called defense. Matters, rebound, all those things that are not fun or talked about wildly in the regular season. Like Xavier and Ray and Cardell, we would start just initial thoughts on the first round. We got the graphic up there. Let folks know what things look like around the league as of right now. What stood out to you guys the most? Octavia, we'll start with you.
So I'll get the easy ones out the way. Celtics and Hawks, Sixers and Nets. I mean, we pretty much seen all we really need to see. I think the Nets are trying their best. Mikal Bridges is doing everything he can, but I just think that the 76ers are just going to be too much for them. Joel is pretty much bigger than anybody than they could possibly put on him in this series. So I foresee him pretty much having his way. And the Celtics are doing the same. They're up 72-55 currently. It's just going to be easy for those two. I think the Cavs and the Knicks series is going to be really good. It already, to me, showed that it can be. You can see a little bit of the nerves from the Cavs in the beginning, and I think that if they get their nerves a little bit more settled in the second game, I got to check to see the score on that one. It'll definitely be a better contest as it goes on. But I got that going 7 too, because I can't see Donovan not fighting tooth and nail for them to win the series. But I think Brunson and Randall and Emmanuel Quickly and all of them, and even Obi Toppin has been playing well lately as well. So I think that they're definitely going to put up a fight. So I think that series is going to be a pretty long one. I will say the Bucks and the Heat really surprised me. I know Giannis went out with the lower back injury, but I just don't feel. I feel like the Heat shouldn't even be honestly right now in the same stratosphere as the Bucks, as well as they've been playing this year. I think they said that Giannis is tentatively available for game 2. I think they're still seeing how he's going to feel the day of. If he doesn't come back, it's definitely going to be a harder series. But the Heat also did lose Tyler Hero, and them now having less 3-point shooters than they already had. I think they were bottom 5 in the league as far as 3-point shooting. Tyler Hero had a big drop off, and remember all that money they paid Duncan Robinson? Yeah, it's about time he finally earns it, because he's going to have to play. But we know he's a liability on the defensive end. So they're going to have to do a little bit of give and take with that. I think Kyle Lowry's been playing a little bit better coming off of his injuries that he's had all year. And then Jimmy is just Jimmy. He does everything he needs to do, but he can't do it alone. So they're going to need more people to kind of step up. It's going to be – I don't think it'll be too difficult for the Bucks to beat the Heat, even if Giannis isn't playing, but they all got to play together. On the other side, the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, I thought it would be a little bit better. It's not. The Nuggets are going to go ahead and handily take care of that as well. The loss that they had, with the couple of bonehead things that they had at the end of their season that Sunday is definitely coming back to bite them again. Not saying that even if those players were there, they would still, really be in this series, but they would have had a better shot. I just think the Nuggets are the better team. Grizzlies and the Lakers. If Ja doesn't come back, it's going to be tough. It's going to be real hard without Ja. And from his interview from after the game, he didn't sound too optimistic about playing. I think he's already been ruled out of game 2 with the head. Tyus Jones is going to have to play a much bigger part in it. Although he's shown himself to be a very capable backup, he's going to have to do a lot more. And Jaren Jackson was able to stay out of foul trouble in the first game, but who knows if he's able to sustain that for the entire series. As much as I hate to admit it, because I really don't think he's that great of a player. I think he's a decent player. Austin Reeves has been playing well. and his contribution has been helping them out. But I'm still surprised that I feel like D'Angelo Russell has to get more involved, and Beasley needs to get more involved as well. I mean, LeBron and AD, I hold my breath every time they play. I don't think either one of them are going to make it out of the series without some type of detrimental injury. That, like when AD said, "Oh, I can't lift my arm," I was like, "Yep, there it is." It happens every year, but he was able to come back in. He definitely had a presence in the defensive end for them. So if they're able to stay healthy and Jaw's not able to get back, I suspect that the Lakers should be able to take care of that. Um, Kings and the Warriors. I mean, I think a lot of people slept on the Kings, even though they're the number 3 seed. I think they are number 1 in offensive efficiency. Granted, their defense has been kind of up and down throughout the year, but they've been playing some defense so far in this series, and they've been getting in everywhere they need to. I mean, De'Aaron Fox has been playing ridiculous. I mean, Malik Monk had 30 points. Sabonis. I mean, I feel like Sabonis is not playing his best yet, so I think if he gets a little bit more going, I mean, granted they're up 2-0, so they were able to do that even without him playing at his best right now. And the Warriors' road situation still continues to be a detriment to them. They're not going to be able to win this series if they can't win on the road, obviously. And they haven't shown us that they can do it all year, so I don't know. I mean, granted, I know why we still believe in them. It's the Warriors. It's playoff times. They usually turn it on, but it's getting it's getting a little hairy right now for them. So they definitely have a lot more. They better hope that their home court, that they're able to protect that, because if not, it's a wrap. And that'll definitely just be something to see. The Suns and the Clippers, I was a little bit surprised as well. I definitely thought that the missing Paul George was definitely going to be a detriment to them. But I think a lot of people also underestimated the period of time that the Suns have been quote unquote whole with KD. I mean, it was his first loss, I believe I said, with him in the lineup for the Suns. And I mean, Kawhi showed like MVP Toronto defensive type Kawhi Leonard that we're used to seeing. It looks like maybe the maintenance that he had all year has helped him to be in better shape now, and be more ready for these longer periods of time that he's going to have to play, especially without Paul George. And they're saying that he should be out for at least his first series. And I think a lot of people still underestimate. I don't know why I underestimate Tyronn Lue as a coach. He makes great adjustments, and I mean they have one of the deepest teams. So as long as they can kind of keep it on track, they have a chance. But we know Devin Booker and Kevin Durant not going to play the way they played previously. I think they said KD only shot 2 times in the fourth quarter, which is ridiculous. I don't know whose idea that was. And I suspect that they're going to turn it around. So I expect them to definitely make a push, make this a more, I don't want to say more competitive series if they've only played one game, but, kind of even out the series and go back. And like I said, unless Kawhi can keep it up the entire time, it's definitely going to be difficult for them to stop KD as well as Devin Booker. And if CP3 can hit threes the way he's been doing it recently, it's going to be a tough task for them. So, I mean, I think the best series to watch are going to be the Suns and the Clippers. Right now, I'm leaning towards the Warriors and the Kings. Just depends on what the Warriors do next. But Cavs and Knicks is probably my favorite one to watch right now.
All right, Ray, how's the first round been treating you?
Um, it's been pretty enjoyable so far. Most of the series have. In the East, man, I know the Bucks. They, for some reason, the Heat always play them tough. They like a thorn in their side, man. So the Bucks should win that series, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have rather saw somebody else round one, because I mean, it's every team got that little annoying team that just take them to the wire every time, and yeah, that's who the Heat are for the Bucks. Celtics Hawks. I mean, I pretty much knew how that was going to go. Celtics take care of them pretty handily. Same with the Sixers Nets. The Nets just don't have enough. They don't have anybody to match up with Embiid, and and their others are the Sixers. Others are producing as well. But the Nets are fighting, and that's pretty much all you can ask. And it's good experience for them. Like they got a good group of players, but just they just don't have enough for this series. Cavs and Knicks, that's going to be a bloodbath. It might be that might be the most evenly matched series out out the first round. Yeah, I can't call it. Just whoever plays the best, more power to you. 'Cause they're very evenly matched. I think the Cavs have the best player in the series, which if he shows that he's then that should be enough to get in the edge. But you got to play the games, and currently the Knicks are up one over in the West. Yeah, I think the Nuggets is going to get the Timberwolves up out of there. You know, they they're the one seed for a reason, and I think they're going to take care of business. Grizz and Lakers, yeah, especially if Ja doesn't come back, um, it's going to be tough. They're already missing Steven Adams, and Brandon Clark has been out for an extended period of time as well. So that's a lot of their size right there, and yeah, man, if the Lakers LeBron and AD keep doing what they're doing, and then their role players, Austin Reeves, he's had a good year, and I mean, of course, we knew Rui was going to play well because he was traded from the Wizards. That's par for the course. You lead the Wizards, you have a breakout. So that's right on cue for him. Kings and the Warriors. Warriors might be in trouble, man. The Kings they they look like they not here for it. You know, I didn't want to go out and say the Kings will win off the break because the Warriors had the experience and the best player in the series, but that's about all they got going for them. The Kings are dominant in every other facet. So yeah, Golden State gonna have to they're gonna have to adjust. They're gonna have to turn it up to make this series. And the Suns and Clippers, game one might have been the best game of the playoffs so far. Down the stretch, Kawhi, he's just showing that he's reminding people, what he's capable of. And gotta give a shout out to Westbrook, man. The way he changed that game, shot 3 for 19, but literally impacted the game in every other facet. And that's what won him the game. And the play that's going to stick out for me for a long time is at the end when he got the block on Devin Booker, and Booker was looking at the ref, and Russ threw the ball off of him to cause a turnover. That's that's a winning play right there, man. And he made a lot of them in that game. And I'm just glad to see him in a position where he can be the player we know he can be again. Um, the last year and a half for him, he wasn't playing well, but he wasn't put in a position to flourish, and he faced a lot of undue criticism just for a bunch of nonsense. But we see what he's still capable of. Of course, it's not MVP Russ, but folks was talking about he needed to hang it up when that's clearly not the case. But yeah, man, I've been enjoying these games. Naturally as the rounds progress, it's going to get more competitive. Teams going to be a little more evenly matched. But for the time being, it's been some fairly good basketball.
Cardo.
Yeah, on the East, yeah, the Bucks, the Heat always play the Bucks tough. What the Bucks do, they bully you. Obviously, they got the ultimate bully with Giannis. You know what I mean? Lopez, they wear you down, and then they go to the skill portion of their roster or whatnot. But you can't bully the Heat. I don't care the talent, the lack of talent, or what type of talent they had with them. It's a real thing with the Miami Heat culture. So you can't bully them. You got to play basketball. And obviously, when Giannis went down, that was a big blow. You lose your best player, it's a big blow. One you can't really recover from unless you just got another All NBA guy to kind of pick up the slack, and they don't really have that, especially with Middleton still trying to find his way. Drew Holiday, having his hands full now with like Kyle Lowry or whatnot. But Max Strus has been playing well at the end of the season as well. Hitting a lot of shots. He was huge in the play-in games. So it goes back to where I tell people you got to watch games to stop watching ESPN. You know what I mean? And people go off their logic and what they read and stuff, and they really don't have a clue what's going on because it's mostly star driven. to get the clicks and the views. But it's other guys that may not have that name that are producing that could be the difference in the series, and that's what you're seeing. With the Heat. Can you put the thing back up? Yeah. So, and then with the Cavaliers and the Knicks. Going back to the Heat Bucks, it's hard to tell with that because we don't know the state of Giannis, and that's not one dude. Clearly, we know that's going to fake an injury, or if he can't play, that's it's serious. And he fell right on his tailbone, which prompted some interesting basketball dialogue, which I'll bring up later about the charge calls and some stuff like that. But look, man, they got their work cut out for them, and the Bucks. The Bucks got to figure some things out as far as how to utilize certain guys with Giannis not out. You can't leave Lopez on the perimeter. He's a fully capable post player. That's an advantage. And that's a guy that could wear Bam down because Bam was just jaying those guys up from mid-range, and he was roaming defensively, and that disrupted everything. And then obviously Jimmy had to go on. So they're going to have to figure some things out. They're going to switch the shot southpaw without Giannis. And I think that's the adjustment we're going to see moving forward. Cavaliers, Knicks, I was looking forward to that series, man. I already knew they was gonna go at it. There's a lot of, intertwining layers to it. The Knicks went after Donovan hard. They couldn't get him. The Cavs got him. Then when they got Jalen Brunson, so it would be wild if their secondary option end up helping them beat their first option in the playoffs. That'd be wild. But it's gonna be physical. Both teams got size. Both teams got pit bulls inside on the perimeter. I know a lot of people was like, why didn't Donovan take over? It's because of Josh Hart. That was a key. That's what I mean. You got to watch the games. That was a key addition for the Knicks that they went out and traded for and got. And physically, he's got a lot of similarities to Donovan Mitchell. He's more athletic than what people realize, but he's a little bit bigger than Donovan. He may not be as skilled and as consistent a scorer as Donovan, but Donovan ain't gonna just bully him. So that's a guy you can literally put on Donovan and just say you stay with him, and you can focus on everybody else. So you don't have to double. That hurts the Cavs. So normally you want to double them, and then on the opposite side of the backcourt, Jalen Brunson is having his way with Darius Garland, so that you don't have that advantage. Then Julius Randle and those boys, they in there just keeping it a buck. They bullied Jared Allen and Eric Mobley. So it's interesting. You don't really have an advantage nowhere. So this is a series about will as much as it is about skill, and that's what you're seeing. And coaches, playing chess all throughout the series, man. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting to see, how things go. Obviously the Cavs got home court, but look, the Knicks already took that. So, the Cavs, they're going to grow up quick, fast, in a hurry, man, because I really think, they lost last year, so they got a taste of it, but they not used to playoff basketball at this level with the physicality and where it's like, damn, dog, we really don't have an advantage. We're going to will ourselves to win our matchup and try to win the game. That's something they got to learn, and that's something the Knicks have been through because they got guys that like Brunson that's been through playoff wars, going to the Western Conference Finals with Luka and all that. Julius Randle, obviously, being in the playoffs last year. So they got guys that understand what it's about. Sixers, Nets. I love what the Nets did for the first half. They went small, got up under Embiid. They bothered Embiid a little bit, but Maxey and those guys, Tobias Harris and those guys stepped up. And once they kept hitting shots, naturally, guys can lead them on. That's when Embiid got going. It's just Embiid is the dude that the Nets just don't have no answer for. It just is what it is, man. You can double, but if guys are hitting shots, it's just hard to keep doubling. You know what I'm saying? Because they just gonna keep murdering you, and it's a pick your poison type of battle. And the one thing Embiid has gotten better is he knows how to pass out the double team and knows how to get the ball to the guy that needs the ball in prime shooting position instead of just dishing it back out looking to get his. So the Nets, I love what they did for the first half, but you could tell they wore down trying to bang with Embiid going small. Some of their bigs have to get better, play better. It just is what it is to help offset the wings having to come down there and battle Embiid. But I appreciate the fact that Nets ain't just letting them do just slaughter them, just giving up, man. They competing. and we'll see what happens when it goes on. Because for half, they was rumbling. You know, they was right there with them. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Celtics, Hawks don't play defense. They got a lot of adversity going on with their roster, new coach and all that. People being evaluated. You can tell guys are trying to play to keep their jobs and stuff. That's all in the mix. And meanwhile, you're in a playoff battle with a team that's trying to get the championship, get back there. Good luck with that. I wouldn't be shocked with a sweep unless the Hawks just go crazy. You know, at home, which they're capable of doing, bombing away and hitting a bunch of shots and winning the game. But with the Celtics on their game, it's going to be tough for them. Yeah, Nuggets, Timberwolves just got to grow up. You know, just quick, fast, in a hurry. I always say, you know, they talk about Steph stresses the defense more than anybody in the league. I'm like, nah, it's Jokic. You know, honestly, I would be more fearful of him defending off the ball, not even being on him, just playing help side. Because I think Mike Conley talked about how, you know, Jokic had the ball at the top of the key, and, you know, he did what he's supposed to do. He got one foot inside the lane, but he's aware of his man. So he think he's in good defensive position, and Jokic literally threw a pass right in front of his face to the guy, and the guy hit his guy hit the three, and he was just at the game like, yo, what the hell? Like, yo, this something different, you know what I'm saying? And then meanwhile, he's bullying Karl Towns. Gobert got a couple blocks on him, but he's not agile enough to keep staying with Jokic. And I actually think that's their best option, because Towns, that's my criticism of him. As skilled as he is, he has a lot of skills as far as perimeter-wise for his size, man, but he's not a bully. He does not like physicality at all inside, especially on defense, and that's the problem. And they know that. So they're picking on him, and they're going at him, which affects his offense, because now he's moving all around more than he usually used to. And he's getting scored on, he's getting frustrated, but at the same time, he's getting worn down. That takes him away. You know, I think the perimeter guys, I think Conley and Ant, you know, pretty much cool. They do what they, you know, should do, considering the blowout. When I think they can hold their own, do what they're supposed to do. It comes down to that front court, man. Obviously, not having McDaniels and Nash, it hurts bad. Because see, when those guys, when Gobert and Karl Towns are struggling, those guys can go down in the front court, and it's a different ball game. You see what I'm saying? They can go down there defensively and move, and that can help them sustain. But look, the Nuggets got the best player in the series, and I don't see nobody on the Wolves in the front court learning how to deal with that overnight. So it's just going to be tough. But I want to see if they can battle back and fight like how we saw the Nets do last night. You know, that'd be the telltale. Because if you could do that, maybe you don't win game two. All the Nuggets was hold serve on home court. Now you go back home with some confidence. Like, we'll see what happens on our court. We played them twice. We played them better. So now let's make some necessary adjustments. The Suns and Clippers, I'm honestly not shocked at that result. I think people took the Clippers for granted, you know, because of the up and down season they've been having. But they've been having guys in and out all year. You know, look, the Suns haven't been great at either. You know, they just haven't been great. They haven't got the chemistry right with Kevin, because he's been out. You can tell guys are still a little bit playing like they're not trying to step on toes, you know what I'm saying? But as the playoffs, some toes going to have to be stepped on. It might have to be a conversation where it's like, look, but KD's the one nuke on this team that no one has an answer for. He got to take those shots, man. You just feed off of him. And Chris got to understand this stage in his career. Maybe you shouldn't be taking those shots late in the game, dog. Set KD up, set Book up. I like how Torrey Craig, he stepped up. DeAndre Ayton, you got to step up, man. You know, you can't afford to lose your matchup to Zubac. It's just saying it's counterproductive. You can't do that. Not saying Zubac is not a quality, solid center. That's not what I'm saying. But you got the bag. You a number one pick for a reason. You're supposed to win that matchup convincingly. And the thing about KD, I hear people saying why he only took 2 shots and late in the game. That's because the defense won, and 2, he was being a little too unselfish. I think what he had, like 9 assists or something like that. He was passing the rock. That's on him. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by not trying to step on toes and whatnot. That's on him. But my reply to a lot of fans is at the defensive level that Russ was playing, and obviously Kawhi ain't just the type of dude you could just ice on. I don't care if you are Kevin Durant. He ain't an easy win, bro. That's a battle. You're not gonna win that every time. You understand what you're dealing with as well. So with that being said, the way the Clippers are defending, that had a lot to do with it as well. And I hear people saying, well, KD get those shots, maybe the Suns win that game or whatnot. That's fair. But Russ shot like 300-400 as well. He's not going to do that again. So if he made 40% of his shots, the Clippers win by 10, 15 points. It's not even a contest. So you got to look at both sides with that. The Kings and the Warriors in trouble. I'm going to just say it. People can front all they want. They can't guard them boys. It just is what it is. They just can't guard them. Kings moving at a different speed. And, Wiggins, the only one that has kind of been getting stops, but he just got back off of not playing for too much. You can tell he don't have his legs because plays where he's at the rim, I'm like, Duncan Wiggins, he's laying it up. I know he ain't got his legs. And you can see late in the game, Kerr got to keep subbing him because he's gas. And truth be told, he's doing a good job on De'Aaron and Herter and Harrison Barnes whenever he roaming. But man, he can't guard Malik. Malik getting past him like the first move. And I think people are seeing why Malik Monk was so highly decorated out of high school, why he was such a high pick. Now, on these other teams, because of the analytics, they made him just a three-point shooter. But those of us that saw him on the EYBL knew he was a whole lot nastier than that. He's super athletic. He's 6'4", crazy wingspan. He's dumb. He's a freak. And Mike Brown is smart enough to understand what he brings. And I think De'Aaron had a lot to do with it. Like, look, man, let him rock. I know what he could do from Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? And you see him more of his dynamic. He breaking dudes off the dribble. Like, nobody on the Warriors can guard him. Not Draymond, not Wiggs, Clay, Steph, never been fleet of foot enough to really lock down somebody. Jordan Poole, don't get me started. I mean, the rest of them dudes just food. And they're killing the Warriors with Looney because Looney doing the drop coverage. Because he got Sabonis rolling, man. It's tough. Like, he got Sabonis rolling. Draymond trying to stop one of them because they can't guard nobody. Like they literally have no advantage. So then you see the Warriors be the bad Warriors last night. Now they got to take hero threes and they weren't hitting them. And then on top of that, I think they have 37 turnovers in 2 games. The Warriors does. That's the Kings locking them up, getting in the passing lanes, disrupting their dribble. That's the Kings, man. That's the Kings forcing that. So you mean to tell me the reigning champions in 2 games, averaging damn near 19 turnovers a game in the playoffs, with arguably the second or third greatest point guard of all time. Draymond is an efficient ball handler and passer. All that experience. They're playing like how you would expect a young team like the Kings to play right now. And all you can do is give credit to Mike Brown. And you can tell Mike Brown has given those guys a lot of tips on how to deal with these guys. And it's working. Now, you got to see what happens when they go home. But for them to be up 2-0 the way they are up 2-0, the Warriors in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And, we're going to get into the Draymond thing. And we're going to get into that too. But that's a testament. The reason why he acted like that when we get into it later on is because they were getting their butts whooped. And that's how they act. When the bully can't, when the big dog, when the big brother can't do it no more and the little brother smacking them around, that's what usually happen, man. And that's what you had, man. The Grizzlies and Lakers, man, look, tough. It's tough. Ja got to play, man. They have no hope without Ja because that's their one advantage where the Lakers have no answer for him if he's on his game. You see what I'm saying? I'm glad it's not broken because I hate seeing, playoffs being ruined by key players and top players being out with bad injuries because it just disrupts the whole thing. And you want to see teams at the best to really decide the champion or whatnot. But, they were already wounded without Steven Adams and Clark, man. Without Ja, man, it's tough. It's real tough, man, because they already thin inside as is, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Jaren Jackson, he actually balled. He matched AD, but he can't do it alone because he got to deal with AD and LeBron. They both down there banging on him and stuff like that. So Dama got to step up. Tillman got to step up. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dylan Brooks, you're doing all that talking, bro. You want to step up. Like, we ain't even, you guys, you do the talking, fine. But you got to step up. Or you're going to definitely hear about it for a minute, man. You need to get crucified, man. And that's what it is. But then, with that being said, LeBron and AD weren't even the best players for the Lakers in game 1. There was also the reason Rui. And shout out to Rui, man. He making me happy, man. I'm happy he killed him. These fools around here can finally understand what they let go. Yeah. Again, Wizards tradition. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just my take, man. I love it because I've been saying this coming for the last couple of years. The young boys have grown up. They're not in all no more. They feel they can win. They feel like it's their time. They try and get it. And so the old guard trying to hold them off, but for some, it ain't looking good right now. It is what it is, man. But we're going to see, man. The playoffs been fun, man. So, hopefully it continues. No bad injuries come. No more controversy. We could just talk about basketball and, we see how it goes as the playoffs go along.
Yeah, but who knows what it's going to look like by the time we talk with you all again next week in the playoffs, especially with at the rate things are going. By next week, by the time we talk to you next week, teams that had that were at their home court will be the road teams. See if things switch up depending on the series, how much impact that actually has. Cardell, you were going last week out of Portsmouth once again. So let's see the floor to you. Who stood out this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. In the championship, for those that don't know, Portsmouth Invitation pretty much kicks off the NBA pre-draft season. It's the oldest pre-draft combine in the country, in the world. I believe this is the 69th year. It would have been the 70th year, but they canceled one year due to COVID. And what it does is brings the top seniors in college basketball, 64 of the top seniors in college basketball, to come and do battle in front of 200 NBA and FIBA scouts and front office personnel, man. Like if you're trying to get on the draft boards or get in position for a two-way Exhibit 10, a G League job or a job overseas, if you're a senior, you feel like you put in work throughout your college career, just been kind of overlooked or whatnot, you want to be in this. And it was great to see. It's one of my favorite events to cover. Because guys are hungry and they competing, and there's guys with NBA talent. You know what I mean? And they're gonna be knocked because of their age, that they're older. But I feel like that's the problem with the NBA. You see a lot of youngers with talent, but they don't know how to play the game, and you see what's happening. And the guys that draft those young guys are usually not around to see those young guys grow up, because they get let go. You know what I mean? Whereas you can plug one of these seniors and they're guys with experience and they're ready to go. They grown man, they understand how to play the game. Just tell them what you need from them and they go do it. It's as simple as that. But in the championship game, K&D Rounds defeated Sales System 91-87. Which was a very entertaining game. So Jabari Rice out of Texas, I'm gonna talk about him in a little bit. He won MVP. He led the team with 19 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists on 7 of 12 shooting from the field. He was special, all throughout the week. Starting with him as far as the standouts, obviously, one thing that jumped out to me when he first stepped on the court, I mean, obviously you see he's 6'4", but as soon as the game started the first night, Wednesday night, he was guarding 94 feet. But what jumped out was his wingspan. Like, he was backpedaling and just sticking his hand out, disrupting the ball handler, like knocking the ball loose. And we were like, damn, his arm. And we was in the crowd like, yo, his arm's long as hell. Like, what the? And come to find out, he's 6'4", but he got 6'9", 6'10" wingspan. And he caused hell defensively. Like, dudes was fumbling the ball. Guards didn't feel comfortable making just basic fundamental passes because he was jumping the lane, and he's so quick and athletic and so long, he can bait you into it, think you got a window, and then he's already jumping it, and you got to pull back or whatnot. He's a menace. But on top of that, he's an efficient scorer. He knows how to score. He can score from all 3 levels, moves well without the ball. One thing he could get better at, be a little bit more shifty with his ball handling. Obviously being a 6'4" guard, he's going to have to get guys off of him. But when you got that wingspan and the way he can jump, you don't need to waste too much dribbling motion, man. Just get to your spot and elevate. Ain't too many people going to bother your shot. With him winning the MVP and doing the damage he did, I'm pretty sure he pretty much lining up a lot of workouts for a lot of teams as the pre-draft process go around. So if you hear his name, his stock rising in the upcoming weeks, you know where it started. Next up is Tiger Campbell, 6'4" point guard at UCLA. He averaged 14.6 points, 6.6 assists on 50% shooting from 3. I've been honestly following this kid since high school. He's the prototypical point guard, man. It's amazing how easy he makes the game, man. It was just crazy. It was fun watching because it's a throwback. It reminded me of watching like John Stockton and Jason Kidd, those caliber point guards. He only scores to keep the defense honest, so win is obviously there. You know what I'm saying? You just recognizing situations. All right, let me go and get this bucket. He's more of a pass-first point guard, but he can control the game, man. And as you can see in the playoffs, having that type of point guard is valuable. It's very valuable. And we all know it's very valuable in college, man. You know, controlling the pace, controlling the game, and then being efficient with the way you knock down shots. He's that, man. He's not the most explosive athlete, but he's super sharp, got a great IQ, but he's not he's not like, running a 40 an hour either, man. You know what I'm saying? He'll get the job done. So I think he definitely helped his stock. Obviously, being at UCLA, with the damage they did last year in the Final Four or whatnot, plenty of people, plenty of scouts know what he is, but I think he really helped his stock by the damage he did, last week. Next up is Ed Croswell, 6'9" forward out of Providence. He averaged 17 points, 8.3 rebounds, so 54% shooting from the field. Beast. He could be similar to what Gafford is, just more skill. You could really, instead of like Gafford mostly rolling to the basket off those screens and dunking, this guy can roll and dunk and also pop out and hit jumpers consistently. And that's the difference. He also showed he would work. He'll be able to knock down NBA threes with efficiency as well, man. And then on top of that, he's a menace on the boards, man. Like, I mean, he go for boards, dudes hit the ground. They bounce off of him. Look, I just love. Some people may call him old school, traditional type of big and mean, play inside out. I just call it playing effective basketball, and I see a whole lot of teams that need it and can utilize that. And he's a lot better than what I thought, because I think in Providence, when I did a couple games I saw him play last year, they kept him more so inside. You know what I'm saying? He was posting up, and which he can do too. He could post up on the block, but that's mostly where they held him at. That was his bread and butter at Providence. Here, man, he was on the perimeter. He understands how to get his shots. Like he'll go set screens and then quickly slip to the basket, get dunks, or he'll get the ball. They'll rotate to the lane to try to stop him from getting a dunk, and he could hit the cross-court pass, and dudes was hitting corner three, so he understands how to play basketball and execute the offense that way as well. It was great watching him play, man. You know what I'm saying? I definitely he's a guy that certain teams on this East Coast, I'm not gonna say no names, maybe a possible local team, they were right there, the whole front office staff, they was watching. They need to bring him in for a workout. They need to take him serious and put him on their board, man, because he's ready to come in and help right away. Next one, second to last one, guy I've seen a lot of, obviously covering GW in the A10, Tumani Camaro, 6'8" forward out of Dayton. He averaged 20 points and 11 rebounds. My man was a grown man out there, man. It was fun watching his versatility because, obviously scouting, talking with a lot of scouts across the league, they always ask me, like, who the best player in the A10, like as far as NBA? Ace Baldwin at VCU got player of the year. I was saying Tumani. But the thing is, his teammate playing in front, I forget his name, slips my mind right now. He's the one that's getting on the NBA buzz. But Tumani, once again, showed aspects of his game you didn't see at Dayton. You could see a little bit of his versatility, but at Portsmouth, he put it all on display. He was hitting threes. He was rolling to the basket for dunks, lobs. He was defending 1 through 5. They even had him run point forward. Like, he was literally bringing the ball up. He never did that at Dayton unless, it was just trapping and stuff like that. And they had to beat the shot clock. And obviously, he had the board. He had to try to get across half court. That's the only time you saw him dribble. Here, they was literally passing the ball. He was coming up, setting up the offense. And he killed. He killed all week. Like, I think the worst game he had was like 13 to 15. That was the worst game. The other 2 games he played, he was above 20 points and double-digit rebounds. And he was hitting threes, scoring from all 3 levels. If he's not on the NBA roster, if he don't have some type of two-way or at least in the G League having to prove himself because maybe he went to a good team, something's wrong. I think it's people that don't know what they're doing. And they probably won't be around too long. That's how dominant he was. And last but not least is Kendrick Davis, 6-foot guard out of Memphis. He averaged 15.3 points, 6.7 assists, 3 steals, and 2.7 rebounds. Kendrick, saw him a lot throughout the season. He had to score a lot for Penny, down there. So I didn't know if he could run a point. I didn't know if he could do all the little things that would be required of him as being a rookie to fulfill a role on the team. But he did. He got off to a slow start, missing some shots. But once he settled in, it was a wrap, and he got comfortable. It was fun actually watching him go through a battle on the first day, his first game with Joe Bryant Jr. from Norfolk State. who came to our pro day, and they kind of let it be known that they both here for the smoke. They what I'm saying, fighting for jobs. It's just part of it. But I love to see it. That showed that they was here to play. But he's explosive, man. Super athletic. Super. A little bit old. He's 24, but he's super athletic. I mean, when he's athletic, like when you trying to dribble the ball against him, with most guys with a quick change of direction, even though they're quick and they can recover, you can see you get a little space for him. It's no space for him. He moves right with you. So it's hard to get him up off you. So if you're not an elite athlete as a ball handler, he's gonna bother you. He's gonna be a pest. And then he's strong and he can jump with you. You know what I'm saying? With to contest you, even though he's short. So he's a pest. That's something I didn't know he had on him watching him at Memphis because he was more so focused on scoring. Streaky shooter. He got to get better from 3-point range, but when he's on, he's on. He can put 15 to 20 points up in a hurry. You know what I mean? And he can pass the rock with his speed, especially in transition. He got good vision. He can get the ball where it need to go, and he could be a one-man fast break when he wants to. So those are my 5 that really stood out, and I expect to be in a whole lot of workouts and doing damage. And I definitely expect a few of them to get invites to the big combine in Chicago next month. The best of the rest, I want to give a shout out to Kevin Obenor, 6'4" from Texas Tech, Timmy Allen, 6'6" guard out of Texas, Demoy Hodge, 6'4" guard out of Missouri, Tanner Groves, 6'9" forward out of Oklahoma, and his teammate Grant Sherfield, 6'2" guard out of Oklahoma. And also shout out to who I mentioned, Joe Bryant Jr. and Chris Bankston from Norfolk State, who participated in the pro day, my first ever pro day, and they won an alternate list. And they came to the pro day, played in front of a few NBA scouts, and they did their thing. They killed. Next thing you know, a couple calls made. They got invited to Portsmouth after being on the alternate list. And not only did they get invited to Portsmouth, they both had solid showings all throughout the week. And that I'm sure will lead to some opportunities that they otherwise didn't have, man. And they, we invited about 10 guys. Only 5 guys showed up. Other guys pulled out and all that. And they were the 2 that came early, did their thing, put the work in, got through the grueling 2-hour workout, and that was their reward to play on the big stage in Portsmouth, historic Portsmouth. And they impressed. They proved that they should have been on that list all along. So, man, big shout out to them. I hope the pre-draft process serves them well and they get where they want to go.
All right, we're gonna take our first break of tonight's show, and then we'll come back. Octavia has some news. I'm sure she can't wait to share with everybody about her Philadelphia Eagles. You guys are watching the Focus TV. We will return shortly. Welcome back to the Focus TV, Octavia. The floor is yours. Heard somebody got paid over there, man. What's going on?
Somebody did. So I'll go ahead and start with the elephant in the room. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles agreed to a $255 million 5-year contract extension that includes $179.3 million guaranteed. The $51 million average annual value is the largest in the league history, putting him ahead of the likes of Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, and Patrick Mahomes. As we all know, whoever gets paid the latest is usually the highest paid. So keep that in context. There are still other quarterbacks that are going to be coming after him. Of course, the big story everybody's talking about is Lamar Jackson, but also remember that you do have Joe Burrow as well as Justin Herbert coming down the pipeline as well. $64 million is the amount Hurts will make through the 2024 season, according to NFL Network, including a $23 million signing bonus. That is basically a good indication that he's basically took a pretty team-friendly deal, being able to still keep some good talent around him, knowing that Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown are also signed through 2024, keeps their core together throughout that year. So it expects them to be able to do other things in other places as well. And also, it is the first contract in Philadelphia Eagles franchise history that includes a no trade clause. Nobody else in the franchise has ever received that. Not that I would think that they would trade him, but you never know in this industry. And then, of course, this was all negotiated by his agent, Nicole Lynn, who was the first female agent, and I'll just say first female Black agent to negotiate a deal of this magnitude, to have the highest NFL player in the quarterback position. So great job to her. I thought it was a great deal. I think he deserves everything of it. Like I said, he's averaging about 51 million currently. Granted, the 179 guaranteed is still also based off of some incentives that he'll have to hit throughout this next couple of years. But all in all, it was to me a pretty decent contract. And it locks him up, especially because you want to get it done before these other quarterbacks get theirs and the market continues to soar up and up. Now, granted, that was reported on Monday. Recently, ESPN's Tim McManus stated that Hurts also had offseason ankle surgery, but he is expected to be a full go. Apparently, he had some hardware in his ankle when he had surgery after the Tampa Bay loss 2 years ago in the playoffs, and that he basically just has some maintenance in that ankle to get it kind of cleaned up, and then he should be ready to go for off-season workouts, and he would be there, of course, ready to get everything started. So not too much else going on for the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll slide over to the New York Giants. Currently, New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley was not in attendance for the beginning of the team's voluntary offseason workouts yesterday. As expected, Barkley has declined to sign the franchise tag currently. And because he is not under contract, since he has not signed this franchise tag, he is ineligible to even report if he wanted to. There's a lot of reports stating that he's unhappy with the situation and that he doesn't intend on signing the franchise tag. As of now, all offers have been pulled from him, and they are hoping that he signs it. But as of now, it doesn't seem to be any traction going in that direction. And I mean, they have until July 17th to work out a long-term deal. The first mandatory workout for players are expected to report for their minicamp June 13th through the 15th. So that will also be another telltale sign of what's going on. His only course of action is either sign the franchise tag and play, if they don't come, of course, with an extension that he agrees to, or he'll have to sit out the whole season. We'll see how that goes. As we all probably know, the running back market is not booming. There are a lot of players still looking for places to go. Austin Eckler was still, trying to get traded. There's reports that Dalvin Cook can be cut. They've been talking for weeks now about possibly Derrick Henry getting cut. So it's not a great time for the running back market. And this is just another situation happening as well. Also pictured in this picture, defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence has also decided not to show up for our voluntary workouts that were this past Monday. He is staying away because of contract negotiations. The defensive tackle market has been booming. And Dexter Lawrence wants a piece of that. And who could blame him? I mean, I believe he believes he should be somewhere right behind Aaron Donald, who we know got a massive deal a year or two ago. There's been a number of other defensive tackles who've been signed to pretty lucrative deals this past offseason. They're on paying for the Washington Commanders. Javon Hargrave even got a pretty decent deal out there in San Francisco. So he's holding out for that, hoping to stir up some more negotiations. But as of now, there hasn't been much going on. Daboll had his press conference today with the start of their voluntary workouts, saying that he doesn't see it as a big deal. Granted, these are two of his captains that did not show up for, as we always have to remember, voluntary workouts. These are not mandatory, so they're not required to be there. He doesn't seem too concerned as of now, and he's hoping that everything kind of irons itself out the further and further we get to mandatory workouts. Of course, we have the draft coming up next week. Probably the biggest non-football story currently right now is the Washington Commanders. Washington Commanders owners Dan and Tanya Snyder have reached a preliminary non-exclusive agreement to sell the NFL franchise to a group led by Josh Harris, who also co-owns teams in the NBA and NHL, for a record $6.05 billion. This is a non-exclusive deal, which is fully financed but not signed, meaning that there are other groups that are still available to bid, although it seems as this group has the most traction and they have a tentative deal. As of now, the NFL will review the deal and send it back to both parties to sign. Once it's signed, it'll be resubmitted to the NFL for final approval. This is where the rest of the owners will have to vote to approve the deal. That target date for a vote could be May 22nd through the 24th, when the owners convene in Minneapolis for their next league meeting. The sale also, of course, includes FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, as well as the team's practice facility in Ashburn, Virginia. Just a couple of notable people who are with the Terrace Group, which includes fellow billionaire Mitchell Riles and NBA legend Irvin Magic Johnson. So those are the big bucks that are trying to take over for the Washington Commanders. I joked a couple times that, I mean, there's already a Magic Johnson Boulevard right by the stadium anyway, so why not just bring Magic down to the stadium, just let him have his way at this point. As a fellow NFC East rival, I don't like it. I've liked what the Commanders have had incomparable leadership. It kind of keeps them at bay at times. If you get some comparable people in there, you never know what could happen in that franchise. So it's definitely, I saw many of you Washington Commanders fans rejoice on my social media when these reports came out. I will also hope for you guys that they change your name. Nobody really likes the Commanders and whatever this mascot is that you guys have. So there's a lot, just formalities really going on in the NFC East. The Dallas Cowboys don't have too much going on that's in anything huge, noteworthy. I think the most I saw is that, of course, that they're going to eventually start having talk with CeeDee Lamb about possible extensions when that becomes available. And I think probably the funniest thing is just, what is Zeke doing? Like I said, the running back market is still the running back market at this point. And I also just hope that you guys don't draft Bijan Robinson. That's about it.
Way to wish bad on your fellow teams in the
I mean,
division.
it's part of the game to film the NFC East. Nothing's worse. I don't want you guys to have good things.
Gotta love it. All right, gonna take our second break. When we get back, quick DC United update. Then we're gonna get into rapid fire, which I'm sure is gonna be full with oh so fun things, especially how people should keep their feet off other people. But you're watching the Focus TV. We will return shortly. All right, as for DC United this week, we're talking last week. They're going through it a little bit, creating a bunch of chances, not finishing, which in soccer, not capitalizing on opportunities means you're probably racking up numbers in the wrong column. You got win, loss, and draw, and they were in a bad place. This past week, they faced a familiar foe, and their former head coach Hernan Losada, who is currently the manager of Montreal. Both teams came into this match looking to get right. Both teams stuck at one win. Both teams needing a win pretty bad. For DC United, it was a good thing that they did in fact do that. Again, they really needed a win. As you guys can see, a lot of early contact. I don't feel like the game was overly physical, but this official was very quick to reach into that pocket and issue yellow cards, wasting no time. Just someone fell, yellow. Somebody else fell, yellow. He was on a roll for all the wrong reasons. There would be a positive for DC United in the first half. They did seem to create several opportunities. They spent a good amount of time in the Montreal third to create those opportunities. A great one came in stoppage time of the first half when Taxi Funtas found Ruan out wide. Ruan played it into the box where Matthias Klick was running off the back of Benteke. It was a great shot, just a bit high. That group definitely displaying the growing chemistry, which is something any DC United fan would be happy about. Those were big ticket items. To see them just combining as much as they were in that game, it's exactly what you want. DC United wasted no time to build off that quality of that success of play at the end of the first half. They scored in seconds in the second half. They opened the second half from the circle, kicked it back to the keeper. Keeper put a ball up top. Benteke did what he does best, held up, brought the ball down, slid it out to Taxi. Taxi found Klick again. Klick puts the ball off the goalpost. What you're seeing right now is the opportunity right at the end of the first half. So I'll stop talking because literally we're about to see the goal. Again, 3 of your big ticket items right there. It wasn't a bad shot by Klick at all. But Ruan's done a great job playing essentially right back. getting down the flank over and over again and just creating opportunities. Click just placed that a little too high. Literally, what I want to say, 22 seconds into the. We can see how long this really takes. Into the second half, and DC United gets what they needed. It was Lewis O'Brien's first goal of, his DC United career. All he did was rebound a great shot, but here you go. The keeper plays the ball up top. Benteke doing what he does best, posting up, brings the ball down. Taxi lays it to Click off the post, and Lewis O'Brien does what you need to do when you're struggling. The ball's loose. Go get it. Bang it in the back of the net. DC United would hold on for a much-needed 3 points. They need that pretty bad. That goal also snapped a 250-minute stretch of play in which they did not score a goal. So for all you mathematicians out there, 90 minutes equal a game. It's 250 minutes without a goal before that goal by Lewis O'Brien. And again, that's another one of those big additions that's still getting comfortable here. So it was, I want to believe his second match, gets a goal. Again, it's a good thing, but most importantly, they got 3 points. This week they'll be on the road once again, except this time it's on the East Coast. They'll be in Orlando City, so look forward to sharing with you guys what that result is. Hopefully they can continue to build. It's still, there's still a lot of season left, but you don't want to end up stuck in the teens, looking up at the top of the tables for too long. All right, Cardell, what you got for us in rapid fire? Well, I guess where do you want to start a rapid fire? We got a few ideas already.
All right. Well, following some ugly collisions that injured a couple of our brightest stars in the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Ja Morant, there was an outcry for changing the rules to charge. One article I read, Chris Herring of Sports Illustrated, said the timing of the modalities called into question whether the NBA's charge block rules make sense anymore in a league where speed and athleticism are greater than they've ever been. Here we go. The reality is they don't, at least not as they are written for the moment. Too much is riding on the shoulders of the star players who make these sorts of plays possible in the first place. There shouldn't be an incentive for defensive players to position themselves in a way to invite that sort of highly risky contact several times per game. There's often confusion for players, coaches, and fans alike on what constitutes a charge as opposed to a block. The clearest, most general way to explain a charge, according to league officials, is when a defender establishes himself in the path of an offensive player prior to contact occurring and before the offensive player shoots the ball. A defender has to be outside the restricted area to earn the call. Here's the problem with that logic, though. It allows defenders to slide into place and sometime underneath an airborne offensive player at the last millisecond, creating a dangerous situation for both people involved. At a minimum, the rule can and probably should be altered to require the defenders to be set prior to offensive players gathering the ball to shoot or pass the ball to give ball handlers enough time to avoid contact that can result in such a nasty fall. Octavia, your thoughts?
My thoughts are, even if they change the rule, it's still gonna happen. like you said, these are athletes that are going to be airborne. Like, situations like this are always going to happen. Unfortunately, it's a part of the game. And I'm just not a fan of them trying to change every little thing because something happened to a star. Like, these things have been happening for a while. And I mean, I get it. I understand that, it wants to be looked at, which I don't have an issue with. But for it to be like the banner call now just because of these situations is a little bit extra to me. But I mean, it is real hard to tell the difference between a charge and a blocking foul, I guess, if you want to say. But I just think that it's a part of the game. Unfortunately, I mean, it's just a part of how it happens. And honestly, I don't think changing the rule is going to stop the situation.
Right.
Like, why is the topic of conversation banning charges instead of telling these dudes to shoot floaters and mid ranges? Like that just negates all this altogether. I mean, to be perfectly honest, all the ones we seen with Embiid, Ja, and Giannis, I'm more inclined to say the offensive play was out of control. and just barreling into people. Like, so maybe you should get some finesse to your game. That might help. But I mean, yeah, it's just silly. Charge has been a part of basketball for a very long time, and it is what it is. Deal with it. I mean, do dangerous plays happen at times? Yeah, but are we going to restructure the entire fabric of the game? For a few outlier plays, that just doesn't make any sense. Um, and yeah, all that much more athletic than they've ever been crap. I mean, that's already been disproven, so there's really no need to get into that. But if I'm an offensive player and I'm driving to the basket full speed and I see somebody obstructing my path, I'm just not going to barrel into them. And maybe guys would be able to run to the basket from 30 feet away untouched if you let people get physical on the perimeter again. So, maybe that's something to look at. But we're here now. We've reached the point where people are saying taking the charge isn't playing defense. So I'll let them have it.
Wilson.
At some point, is a defense allowed to be on like the playing field of sports across the board? Like, are they allowed to have any rights whatsoever? Also, bigger, stronger, faster, which makes it even more absurd. All of you saw them. You know you can evade them, right? And if you can't evade them, you could have stopped because you're a professional athlete. Full control of your body. Y'all gotta stop it. All three very good players. All three did stupid things. They ended in injury. It is what it is. All three of them we've seen at times. We've seen all them dudes throw up a runner before. We've seen all them dudes come to a stop on a dime before. Reverse pivot and do something else. That was their choice. Obviously, they didn't choose to get injured. But I gotta stop it. They were just out of control. Which again goes to negate the whole bigger, stronger, faster thing. Because, I'm old. I used to see people like, gracefully do things. But hey, now it's just run through a wall. Everyone's the juggernaut, and then you get mad when bad things happen. Just, yeah, just people gotta stop. Why is it always the defense's fault for everything?
Well, I'm gonna just start with this. That bigger, stronger, more athletic crap needs to die. Just because it's new to you doesn't mean it's the greatest of all time. It's just something you're discovering for the first time because maybe this is your first introduction to high level basketball, being a sports writer or whatnot. It's been going on for a while. You know, I forgot who Giannis ran into and got hurt over. I forgot. I know Ja was trying to jump over AD or whatnot. Um, there was a guy in the league named Shaq. You don't get much bigger than him. Was a guy when Shaq was at the prime towards the end of his career. Yao Ming, don't get much bigger than him. Remember Big Country Reeves inside. That's a big boy. George Marathon. It was some monsters inside when we were growing up all the time. Ugly collisions happen, man. It's called sports. It's called sports. You're gonna have contact. You're gonna fall. That's the risk you take. That's the chance you take when you play sports. There's always a risk of you getting hurt. It's just how it goes, no matter your age. I'm sick of people trying to reinvent the wheel because it interrupts their excitement moment or whatever they're feeling at that time. It's part of the game. I love Ja, but he's reckless. Reminds me of young D Wade. D Wade was getting banged up early in his career during his flash days. Lonzo Mourning, all those guys had to pull him to the side, like, we gonna win a championship. If you want to have a long career, you got to stay off the floor because the floor is undefeated. The floor literally takes years off your careers. D Wade, listen, he went from flash, developing mid range. He was able to sustain, even though he had his neck injuries, he was able to sustain, play a long time. That's just all you have to do. Yes, sometimes it is a block. That's why they have a block charge. When the guy slides under you, that's a block charge. It's a judgment call. But when you flying in the basket, this guy slides over and sets up to take the charge. You see this guy right there, and you don't adjust because you thinking you still might be able to make it, and you don't make it, and then you realize, damn, I'm 8 feet in the air. Oh, damn, that's a long way down. And you try to put your little bony wrist down to brace your fall, you're asking for something to go wrong. That's on you. It's a way to fall, too, that athletes know how to do. You try to take it on your shoulder and your side and roll with it. It's simple. You see what I'm saying? So, nah, man, these people, I'm just tired of these, the spreadsheet people, the nerds, writing. Like, no, just stop, man. Just stop, dog. It's nothing you can do about that. I mean, I saw a tweet where they said, I think, what's my man name from the Nets? Oh, O'Neal, Royce O'Neal. Him and Embiid battling. They both fell underneath the board for a rebound. They both fell. They said now they're gonna say they should change the rule to boxing out because Embiid fell on the ground. Like that's where we are now. You see what I'm saying? It's just people are miserable, man. I don't know what it is, man. They just find anything to cry about. Just find anything, man. Just let the games play out how it's gonna play, dog. The rules are there for a reason. Ja got to change his game, or he ain't gonna make it. It's real. He gonna get banged up. He ain't the biggest dude anyway. It ain't a lot of bulk there to take that contact. So he gotta change his game. He gonna have to get a little mid-range game, get the floater and stuff, and pull up. You don't need to go in there to prove. We know you got bounce. We know you. Dog, it's been proven. You don't gotta do all that. Let that chill, especially in the playoff when you know your team needs you, bro. You know it. Take that floater, take that short jumper. Guess what AD gonna do? Them bigs gonna start. Now they gonna have to come out at you. Now you hit them with hesitation. They gonna raise up. You go past them. You got a clear bucket to dunk and do everything you want to do. It's that's what you have to do, man. So yeah, man. I just people just need to stop. Just stop crying, man. And we also we gotta get these fools out of basketball, man. I'm at my wits end. The spreadsheet dudes, they gotta go. It's just it's disrupting the game, man. You know where you crying about somebody taking a charge, like damn, dog. Like we saw one pro day with Joe. He literally took a charge and like we applauded that in the defensive drill. Like it's just crazy, man. So I'll tell you, you can tell these people never been around basketball because let you not take. We literally do charge drills in college. It lets you not take a charge drill in college, a charge in college when, especially the game on the line, see what happened. You will never see the floor. So we just need more basketball people, man. It just is what it is. Last question, we definitely got to address this one. These fools, oh man. All right, man. So last night we all saw Sacramento beat the Golden State Warriors 114-106 to go 2-0 up. Go up 2-0 in the series. The big moment in the game was the back and forth between Draymond Green and Sabonis. They trying to one up each other with gamesmanship, knocking each other to the ground, being extra physical, whatnot. But with 7:03 remaining in the fourth quarter, Draymond Green was ejected. They were battling, I believe, for a rebound. Sabonis slipped and fell in the paint with Draymond close by. Where Draymond fell, with Sabonis on the ground, Draymond kind of landed to the side of him, but close by where his foot was pretty much on top of Sabonis. Sabonis looked like grabbed Draymond's foot or ankle, and Draymond literally stomped on his chest and jumped off his chest and ran down court before obviously he was whistled for a foul and a tech or whatnot. They went to review it. They ejected him, gave Sabonis a flagrant one. Sabonis got 2 free throws from the personal foul. I think the Kings finished the game on a 23 to something run, and that's how they won the game. They scored 23 points after Draymond Green was ejected, whereas before in the quarter they only had 8. So it really hurt the Warriors, obviously, especially defensively. You're hearing all types of different viewpoints on it that, hey, man, he started it, so that's his fault. He grabbed his foot, so kind of like he deserved it. You hear other people saying, man, Draymond's just dirty. It is what it is. So I wanted to get your perspective on it because it's just been a rather funny 24 hours. So, Ray, we'll start with you, man. Just your thoughts on this entire sequence, man. And do you feel he needs to be suspended for Game 3?
I mean, it was definitely excessive. There is no question about that. I think the ejection was the right course of action. Suspended. I don't know, man. But what I do know is Draymond carried like somebody that's never been punched in the face before.
Yeah, man.
like,
Yeah.
he does, like, dude, like, come on, man. That's just if you were to get suspended, you deserve it for doing something so stupid. Like, dog, you could have got your foot out of there without that, man. Like, they're doing that in the playoffs, like when you know your team needs you. Like, yeah, man. No, it was unnecessary, and the people defending it, like, come on, man, cut the bullshit. Like, honestly,
Exactly.
like, come on, dog. It's no defending that. Like, he consciously stepped on that man's chest and pushed off. Like, that was a WWF move. Like, yeah, that was yeah, that was wild. Yeah, I'm good either way if he gets suspended or not. I'm cool because he was ejected, which completely understandable. If he gets suspended, you got to take it. You did something stupid. If you don't, it is what it is. But one thing's for sure: if somebody did that to my teammate,
Yeah.
we would have some issues.
Yeah. Hey, if there was ever a play to prove the old school dude's point of how soft this area is, that's the play. That's the play right there.
Yeah,
Held out that one that went down. That wouldn't have been cool back in the day.
I'm gonna have to eat the suspension, man. Like,
Yeah.
he not getting away unscathed after that. And then he's standing up on chairs, barking at the fans. Like, dude, hey, you're not that guy, man.
And then playing victim after the game.
Talking about I want an X-ray. Like, dude, come on, man. Like, yeah,
he's the
that was
kid that
foolishness,
throws a
man.
rock and hides his hand, man. That's what he is.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Wilson.
We was good. I don't want to even say anything, man. Man, just let him go. Just look. It is what it is. I know you want to leave. We all know where you want to be, who you want to be with. You didn't have to do this to get there. You know, that's all I'm saying. And this is the joke. For somebody who is as sharp as he is mentally in the game of basketball, this is the crap that's gonna override this when people look back. Like, I just hope I don't know if he gets that right now, but this is the stuff where this is what's gonna be. It's an infamy now. This, because should y'all go out once again, you did something. The last time you did something this stupid, what happened? What did it cost?
Honest.
I'm not trying to be mean, just being honest. Because you, a whole grown man, don't know how to control yourself, even though you get away with the most. Like, you had already got away. You already had a moment in the game where you low-key got profiled for your reputation. You won the coaches challenge, cool. Like Cardell said, y'all needed to get some footing in this series. You were in the process of doing that. And you were just like, to hell with all that. I'm Draymond Green, and there you go. For nothing. Sabonis was a clown for falling and grabbing your leg. Cool. But you know what Sabonis did? Stayed in the game. His team went up 2-0. You did what you did. And your team's down 2-0. And my whole thing is, you could have took your time to get out of this. There was, what were you in a rush to do? Go set a screen? Just wait. Like, just wait till he lets go of your foot. It's just stupid. Now, if y'all get swept or just lose, whatever, this, like Cardell, you said, you're going to get a much younger team. Another thing, what's it called? Golden State hasn't been right since Mike Brown and, his defensive mind left. Cool. You had, and then I'm not going to get started on what he said. Like, he's always talking, doing stupid things, and then other people got to pay for it. Yeah. Whether you get suspended or not, they're up 2-0, dude. And this is just stupid. But, that's what if that's what he wants to remember for, be remembered for, it's his choice. Like you said about the league being super soft, for sure. for sure.
Octavian.
What's sad is that, granted, this will be something that will be remembered in infamy. It will not be alone because he's done so many other boneheaded things throughout his career. And like you all said, putting his team in a terrible position. And I think he really thinks that it's supposed to hype his team up. When, don't get me wrong, sometimes I think I've seen it happen, like maybe help once. He doesn't have a good track record with it. But I have to say, kudos to him for him trying to come up with a plausible explanation behind this. Talking about, I mean, I'm not that flexible. I can't move my leg that far up. I was sitting here like, okay, coming up, grasping for straws out of anywhere, trying to come up with an excuse. Like, it's just stupid. And it's like you said, like somebody with that type of level of IQ in the game, like to continuously put yourself and your team in situations like that is just ridiculous. I'm like, if I'm his teammate, I'm like, bruh, again? Like, why do we have to deal with this? At least it seems like anywhere from 2 to 5 times a season that you're doing something that is causing a stir that's not basketball related and drawing more attention to us in a negative light. It's like, come on. I mean, you started the season off with a punch. Let's start there. And now here you are, maybe in their last couple of games of the season, stomping on somebody's chest. Like, I don't know. Like, there's so many different things. I mean, the punch, the stomp on the chest. He kicked somebody in the groin a couple years ago. Like, there's so many examples at this point.
The KD incident on the bench.
Exactly. Like, there's just so many things that you can point to that's not what we should really be talking about with you, Draymond. The fact that you got, 4 rings and all this other stuff, but you still out here doing this childish things. It don't make no sense. Like, you could have did anything else, bro. Like, why? Like, to me, like, to literally, like, watching the video that many times, I only watched it like a couple times. Like I said, I watched it last night, but to see it like replay like that, like he legitimately like it was a springboard off this man's chest with like his full weight. And then like Sabonis had to have x-rays, and now Draymond's like, I need to get x-rays on my foot. Like, sir, like, don't get me wrong. I'm always around for a good petty, but this is a bit much. Like, I'm down for petty things at times, but this is a bit much. And he has to know he's wrong. And I don't know. I feel like, once he does it, then he tries to use that as motivation for his team, egging the crowd on, yelling and all of that stuff, which is still kind of crazy to me because he does that. And then his wife or girlfriend, whoever she is, then she tries to defend him. And it's just like, I don't know why you guys are so beat. I'm like, are you not watching what we're watching? Like, are your eyes closed during the game? I don't understand. It's just it's a lot. And like you said, it got them down 2-0, and they better hope they get it together by the next game. If not, it's gonna change real quick.
Yeah, a few things for me, man. Like this dude, and I'm a Draymond guy. I always stand up for what he brings, his impact and stuff like that. But the man, he's trying to play the Rodman role, but he's not good at it. Rodman would do stuff, and they would get bad and push him, and he, what would I do? And Lonzo Mourning kicked out the game, and then Rodman looking, smiling like, and talking to the pros game like he's really stupid. $100 million man, get your mind right. And that's how you know he's all up to that, man. Like, he's trying to play that role. You playing the bait. You've been doing it all series, doing a little bait game, trying to bang with Sabonis, knocking them to the ground, all the little excess. I see what's going on in the basket when the play going the other way. I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You trying to establish it, but you forget who the coach is for the Kings. So I'm pretty sure Mike Brown helped them to your little tactics already. So that's why Sabonis giving it to you right back. But on top of that, the real reason why you snapping is because not only is it not working, but they busting y'all ass on top of it. That's really what it was, man. That's really what it is, man. So And people getting on Sabonis, to me, even over the top for grabbing his foot. He ain't grabbed his foot really like maliciously, like to hold on to hurt him or something like. Because if he did, Draymond wouldn't have been able to get it loose to stomp on him. Draymond would have been like trying to drag him like on some Lonzo Mourning, Jeff Van Gundy type stuff. You see what I'm saying? That's when you really hold on to somebody's leg, and then Draymond probably would have snapped and tried to fight him. You see what I'm saying? Then it would have been some wrestling, some other stuff. But that wasn't the case. He was doing the little games and shit. That happens every game of basketball. You fall on the ground, y'all tangled up, one person try to get up, they'll push off the other guy, knowing damn well they got this whole entire court to push up on, but they'll push up on the other dude to try to make him mad. Meanwhile, the other dude trying to trip him up. It's gamesmanship. My thing is, if you can't play the bait game, if you can't take what you dishing out, don't play it. And it seemed like he be trying to act like he a master at that, like he's a raw man or something like that. And he keeps losing at his own game. Like, bro, this is a big game. Y'all were coming back. Y'all had momentum, everything, and you do this dumb stuff. Then I see you on this thing arguing with the fans, looking like a fool, bro. Like, I don't think he understands. He looks like Ali when Ali was past his prime, where Ali was doing all the rhyming and prediction and stuff, but Ali wasn't winning fights no more. And it wasn't fun no more. It wasn't funny no more. It wasn't entertaining no more. People was looking at him, rolling their eyes instead of like, oh, man, champ. He's at that stage right now. And he don't realize it yet. And y'all can't afford to have anybody's no key players to be out with against this young team. They not going anywhere, dog. You can tell by how they whooping y'all. You see what I'm saying? It ain't like y'all was up and then they coming back. It ain't like that. They're smacking y'all in every possible way, and they got dudes over there motivated on top of the young dudes just trying to prove themselves and improve themselves. They belong and stuff on the big stage. You got a former Warrior over there that took a lot of heat against that finals team when they came back because he couldn't make a shot, and he's trying to show y'all messed up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Dunking on Clay and all that stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know Warrior fans like, where was that dunk at the 16, dog? We had 5 there. You know what I'm saying? I know they saying that. So he's trying to shut them up, dog. And the people trying to justify that. I'm like, let somebody literally stomp on your chest and jump off that mother, and let's see how you feel. There's no way in hell you're going to be cool with that. So how you going to justify that? Like, come on, man. Draymond's a habitual line stepper, and I'm the biggest Draymond supporter, but he's a habitual line stepper, and I feel like he do it with dudes he feel he can get away with. He's very picky. And to me, that's sucker stuff. You can't pick and choose who you have smoke for and be walking around like you a goon and stuff like that. Look, man, you pick on dudes that you feel won't do nothing. It's just facts. You still Jordan Poole. That's a youngin'. Smaller than you. You bug at KD. I love KD. He ain't fighting nobody. You know what I'm saying? He protected because he a star player, franchise dude and stuff like that. He knows what's up. Ain't nobody, because you and him, the whole league would be like, dog, you messing up the money. It'd be hard for you to keep a job. That's what he's protecting him. You see what I'm saying? You bark at reporters or something like that. You don't really go at goons and stuff that really get back at you. It ain't many in the league to begin with, but you know. I don't see you doing that with them. You just bark. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. So when you do little stuff like this, it makes you look weak. It does not help you. It does not help your cause. You costing your team. That's the main thing. You cost your team. So you need to focus on playing basketball. You can't be this emotional, man. And that's why I also close out with this. When they be having the all-time debates about who will win between the Warriors and the Bulls, I'm like, the Bulls easy. And they be like, they got KD. I'm like, Draymond won't be on the floor. Draymond, Ron get him out in the first couple minutes, dog. Like, he's easy to get to. Like, easy, bro. And also, this how you know we're in a new era. I promise you, and I'm saying this for me, but I know the olds who got 80s and all that. Next game, Draymond won't be playing the next series. The first chance I get, I'm taking him out. Like, I'm going to let him go past me to purposely grab him out the air and body slam him on his neck and head so he can be gone. Because to me, what pissed me off about that, fine, you be physical, you do all the base stuff. I'm all with it. Y'all both going back and forth. But what you don't do is try to compromise a man's career. That was a dog. You really put your chest. Draymond was 6'7", about 240, whatever, 245. You put you stomped right on his chest and jumped off that. Now, what if you crack something in his chest and lungs or something, and it's a permanent deal like with Bill Walton's foot and where he or Sam Bowie when he broke his leg, and it was just something where he'll never be the same again. You took that man's ability to provide for his family away. And for pro athletes, it's only a small window you can accumulate this type of money. After that, it's over. So you jeopardize that. What about that? Y'all quick to scream player empowerment, being a pro player, and all that. But when it's an inconvenience for you right then and there, all that go out the window. Where was that wherewithal right then and there? Where was that? Like, you ain't had that? And I don't want to hear that BS. I had to post the clip so people can understand. I remember Shaq had the famous dunk over David Robinson. David Robinson fall. He grabs Shaq's leg, the braces forward. Shaq swings his body, it throws David Robinson on the ground, and he just runs down court. He ain't stomped. That's why that crap Shaq was talking about TNT. Come on, Shaq. You just ready to go to sleep. You're tired. I get it. It's late. That's all that was about. You wouldn't have did that because you could have did it right then and there. As many dudes you dunked on and stuff like that and landed on and all that. You ain't do that. You see what I'm saying? Everybody know that's dirty, man. So I don't think the Kings have somebody like that would do that. But yeah, this is why you need a Charles Oakley. This is why you need a Rick Mahorns. You need those guys, Maurice Lucas, old school enforcers, because it would be problems after that. Xavier McDaniel, Anthony Mason, those types, it would be problems after that. You gotta get dog. Like, you got it coming. You see what I'm saying? Like Bill Laimbeer. Bill Laimbeer played that dirty ass role to a T. And when Robert Parrish beat him on the head, knocked him to the ground, they asked the Celtics, shit, he had it coming. It was just that simple. He had it coming. Larry Bird was like, when he said, I thought it was an offensive foul. He ran into Robert Parrish's fist. I don't know what y'all talking about. That's how I look at it. It was just like that. So he need to have one coming, and it would be no better place to do it than the Warriors home court. Look, you want to leave, I'm going to end it early for you. That's how it should be. I don't think the Kings have it like that, but he deserved that, man, because that was dirty as hell, man. You don't do that, man. And you clearly could have just pulled your leg out and kept it moving, man. And really, if you was a master debate game like a Rodman, I would have played that. I would have tried to pull my leg out, fall, roll like 5 times. Like, ref, you ain't see that? Get a quick foul on him, like, dumbass. And laugh down the court. Like, oh, you're not about to win this game. Either you gonna play basketball, we gonna do this, and I'm gonna win this mental warfare game. So how you want to do it? And right now, Sabonis standing up to him and out producing him, and he can't take it. That's all it is.
Yeah, how about that? Since 16, man. More and more and more. Some of the things, all the energy wasted on other things, like your game, like offensively helping your team on that end. We know about the passing, whatever, but right now, you know what would be helpful? The you we saw at one point that would hit open threes, it would take open threes. That would be a fact on the end of the floor. But we're here. We'll see how things go. Again, who knows?
Real quick, last game, Draymond, 8. I know he got kicked out with 31 minutes. 8, 5, and 4, 3 and 6. Sabonis, 24, 9 and 4, 8 and 12. Like I said, he getting his head rocked right now. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, man. And again, he's gonna be remembered if this is the last hurrah. They're not gonna waste 30's time. So, right. Sir, just being honest. And they chose you last time. They shouldn't have, but I'm gonna mind my business. I'm gonna continue to mind my business. Couldn't have been me, but they chose you last time.
But you know why he got away with that? They shouldn't have got out. I still don't know who did that. That happened behind. It was foul, but that shouldn't even have got out in the first place. It wasn't like it happened in the game. So that's what really saved them. Because that was more so that. Ain't no saving you now if y'all lose, dog. Because this way, you're right. No one remembers Bill Laimbeer for being key to a back-to-back champion. They just remember all the dirty stuff, and he's like the most hated basketball player of all time.
Hey, there's people today who don't even think he can hoop because of his reputation. I'm not trying to be mean, just being real. This is what you about to be remembered as. You might be the dude responsible for breaking this thing up. Yeah. With your fist at the start of the year and just being dumb at the end of the year. We can slide back a couple years, your mouth. It's always you.
Even Bill Laimbeer, he won how many championships in the WNBA? That never comes up with him.
It doesn't matter. Dude, that's the dude who used to knock people out the air. That's it. Man is an accomplished basketball executive, and nobody cares. Congratulations, Draymond. You're heading straight to infamy. Because boy, if this thing ends, if the Kings keep going how it's going,
Especially if they get swept. Oh my God!
if
On their home court, woo.
man, if 30 can't come to your defense like he did riding for you in Boston at the end of last year, when you did something stupid, we're not even a full season removed.
Hey, you right about that.
Like,
He played like trash about
just-
you right. Oh,
Dude, I got a list. I'm waiting. I got a list. It's been him the whole time.
you right.
Like, we could go back to 17, 18.
Sure.
Choices were made that I wouldn't have made. But we are where we are. You shuttling off kids and stuff. I'm looking at you.
Boston, sugar Boston with the crowd on you, but you a goon though, right? How you worried about some fans talking trash? Goons don't worry about that, dog.
He's always starting some stuff that 30 got to clean up. Hey, man, I wish you the best. We'll see if you survive this round. But this, we'll see what happens. Well, thank y'all for tuning in this week. Can't wait to see what the playoffs hold for us by the next time we talk to you. Don't forget, Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. on our Roku channel. If you have a Roku television device, all you have to do is type in the Focus TV in the search box, double tap OK on your remote, and you've added the channel. If you're in the DC area, or inside the city rather, look for your DC TV on your local listings, or you can just go to dctv.org and check out the show on Friday nights at 10 p.m. or Saturday at 4:30 p.m. And they also show additional listings for when it airs, when it re-airs. But we'll see you guys next week. Y'all have a great one.